Hello and welcome to this third episode of Checkmate Puzzles. So what is one of the fastest ways to improve your chess? Well, that is studying tactics, solving tactics problems. So here you can follow along. I'll try and do 20 of these tactics problems. They're all checkmate problems, of course, because of the title. So here we had a knight that just jumped in here to A8. Maybe it captured a piece. So what can black do here to try and win the game? So how can we checkmate our opponent? Well, solve along with me. At any point, if you need to pause the video to think further, go ahead. If not, let's make our move here. All right. So our queen and knight are hovering around this king. How can we get in here to the king and mate? So I'm thinking move this pawn up to h3 and then follow up with queen to g2. One thing to watch out for if you move a piece that doesn't directly attack the king, you have to watch out that there are no surprise checks against your own king. But I don't see any here. All right, so we're going to go here. They capture, and we deliver the mate here. All right, so I hope you found that one. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we just had queen here to f5. What do we have as black? Hopefully you can find this. So I just started this series of checkmate puzzles, and so they're pretty easy to begin with. And then as I do more episodes of this, I'll slowly increase the difficulty level. All right, so hopefully you found this problem. If not, pause the video and take another look. But let's go here. All right, it looks like we have a queen check with mate here on the back rank. So queen to d1, delivering a check, cutting off this d2 escape square, and delivering mate. All right, on to the next one. It looks like our bishop has just been captured. And what can we do here? Okay, this one, another fairly easy one. Hopefully you found this one. So pause if you need to think further. But if not, let's deliver the mate. All right, looks like queen to g2 here just delivers mate, backed up by the rook on g8. All right, on to the next one. Okay, hopefully you're having no problem solving these. And if they're a little bit too easy for you, just remember that even solving easier problems, it's a good workout to improve your basics in tactical calculation and attacking. All right, so let's see here. The knight has just moved, attacking our queen, but it looks like there are some possible back rank mating threats here. So let's take a look. Pause the video if you want to think further, but I'm thinking we can go here, queen to d8, sacrificing our queen and delivering a back rank mate. All right, on to the next one. Let's keep this moving. What was that? A rook maybe captured a piece here. How do we deliver the mate? Well, it looks like that rook was trying to help protect the king. So now our rooks, with this rook and this one, we can deliver a mate. So hopefully you found rook to a3 and the rooks trap the king and deliver mate. All right, on to the next one. The rook has just grabbed the open file here, threatening, looks like threatening a mate. So white is threatening to mate our king. So we have to act immediately here to prevent that. All right, so what do you think? What can black do here to deliver this mate on white's king in the corner? Take a look. Pause the video at any time if you need more time to think. And if you're ready, let's solve this. All right. So it looks like I'm thinking queen checks here, and the king will be forced to capture the pawn. Now remember, whenever a king is under check, there are three options. Block the attacker, which cannot be done if the queen moves here to f3. Capture the attacker, which cannot be done, or run. So check, the king must run, but because of this knight here, we're able to deliver the mate. All right, on to the next problem. Let's keep moving along here. All right, so the rook has just moved, I guess, to back up this pawn, maybe. So what do we have? What can we do to go after this king? All right, let's take a look. Well, looks like our knight and our queen are hovering around this area, so those are most likely the two pieces that we have to rely on for the checkmate. So what do you think here? First thing to do when you're looking to checkmate the king is, of course, look for checks that force the continuation to go into a checkmate. So I'm thinking queen to c6, forcing the king to move because the knight will be protecting that queen. Once the king retreats here, then the knight can deliver a mate. So queen checks and mate by the knight. All right, on to the next one. The knight is just captured here in the center, but that leaves black open to a checkmate. So see if you can figure out how to mate the black king. So hopefully you found the answer. If not, pause the video and think a little bit longer. But if you have it, let's take a look. The queen delivers mate backed up by the bishop here. So just remember to keep your king protected. Watch out for those mate threats. All right, the knight jumps into the center. We have a king that is trapped here in the corner by this bishop. So how can we take advantage of that? All right, well, take a look at this position. Hopefully you can find the answer. And as always, pause if you need more time. But if not, I think we have a good queen sacrifice here. So let's take a look at this. Queen sacrifices here, forcing the king to capture. And then the rook will be able to swing over and deliver a mate because this bishop cuts off the escape squares. All right, here we go. Another pretty cool mate, sacrificing the queen. Okay, on to the next one. The pawn is just pushed forward here. And now we have a king kind of in the open a little bit here. But how can we deliver a mate? All right, well, hopefully you found this one. Take a look. As always, pause if you need to. If not, look for the checks. So what piece can even check this king? Well, it looks like the queen to c5 here will deliver a check and a mate because this bishop is protecting the pawn and the pawn is helping cut off the escape squares. So mate, here we go. All right, we completed 10. Let's get through 10 more. Here we go. Queen has just bishop is just captured here, creating a battery with the queen. What should black do here? All right. Well, interesting, interesting. All right. Well, the king is in the center of the board. Well, do you see how we can deliver the mate? Hopefully you found it. Take a look. Now, the only way to deliver a check is with the queen. So hopefully you didn't go here. The knight would capture you, of course. But you can go here and deliver a mate on the back rank. All right, on to the next one. We just had, what, a pawn capturing here. Our rook is under attack. So what do we do here? All right. Well, this king is kind of out in the open. We have two rooks here that are ready to attack. So what would you recommend here? All right. Well, hopefully you found these rook moves. So rook checks the king. This rook cuts off the king from moving back this way. So the king will have to move over to the G file. Then we check again. And so it's like the leapfrog or stepping stone checkmate. Or staircase checkmate. Here we check. Then we check again. And finally, we deliver the mate here. All right, I hope you got that one. On to the next one. And we're almost, what do we have, about 8 more here? Okay, so the rook just moved where we can capture it with our knight. But of course, we want to go for a mate instead. So maybe this was trying to decoy our knight away from a possible mating attack. So what do you think here? All right, well, hopefully you found it. We have this knight cutting off the king's escape here, and this pawn is unprotected. So I don't know why the rook moved back. He was protecting that pawn. But now, because it's unprotected, we deliver a mate. All right, the next one we have here. Okay, the king has just moved to attack this knight, but the queen is lined up on the king, and that's going to be bad news here for this king. So hopefully you can figure this one out. Take a look at it, and remember to try and solve the problems without moving the pieces, especially if you do these types of problems on your own or on a chessboard. Try and solve as much in your head as possible. All right, so I'm thinking knight here, a double discovered check. So because the knight and the queen would simultaneously check the king, the only thing you can do in that case is move the king. And the only place to move is here. But then that will allow a queen sacrifice on G1. And after the rook captures, the knight can jump back out here to F2 and deliver a smothered mate. So let's take a look at this. I think I've maybe only been able to use this once or twice in actual chess games before, but it's pretty awesome when you can get a chance to do this. So double discovered check there. Then we sacrifice the queen, forcing the rook to capture, and then the knight swings back here and delivers a smothered mate. All right, hope you found that one, and on to the next one. Okay, this looks like a famous, or similar to a famous opening trap. So hopefully you found this one. How do we go about checkmating the black king? Take a look at everything and pause if you need more time. If not, take a look at this rook lining up on the king, pinning this pawn to the king, and allowing the knight to jump here, delivering a smothered mate because the pawn is pinned by the rook and cannot capture. All right, let's finish up these last few problems. the bishop has just moved to d5, where the queen could just capture. But we're going for the mate here. So how do we deliver mate? Take a look at it and pause as always if you need more time. If not, let's take a look at this. I think the queen should go here. Queen to f7, checking the king and forcing the king to move over, and then the queen can deliver a mate on d7. So check and mate. All right, well, hopefully you found that one. And we're down to the last few problems here. A knight has just centralized here on d5, but this black king is pretty much out in the open here. So what should we do? All right, well, we want to look for checks. We have a few different options as far as checks. We could check with the pawn. That is a possible option. Check with the rook, but the knight could capture. Check with this pawn. So that is a possibility. All right. So this one could be a little more tricky here. We have to figure out which check will be best. If we check with this pawn, does that work? The king would have to move to here to e5. The rook cuts everything off. This rook could come up and deliver a mate. And that should be good. All right. Pawn check and rook delivers the mate here. So hopefully you found that one. All right. Just a few more here. Let's see, the knight to c3. Was that a capture? I should have been paying better attention. All right. Well, what should we do here? We have our queen under attack, but we're looking for a mate. All right. Well, take a look at the checks. We have a rook check. We have a bishop or a queen check. I think the rook should stay here and cut the king's escape off, so the king can't move to the H file. So queen and bishop, but which one? Well, we probably want to go with the bishop first. And then once the rook captures, the queen will deliver a mate. So here we go. Hopefully you found that. And we have two more problems, and then we will be finished for this video. Okay. What was that? Pawn just pushed up to b6. Maybe trying to run and promote. What can we do here? How do we get to this king? So hopefully you found the answer. Pause the video if you need more time. Our rook is pinned, but we need to look for checks. We don't want to go here, or the queen could possibly just capture us. Or the king. It looks like the queen would have to capture. All right, so what should we do here? I'm thinking queen to d1 check. The king will be forced to move, and then our queen can jump down here to g4 and deliver the mate. All right. And there we go. Checkmate with the assistance of this pawn on f5. Okay, one more problem here. The final problem. Okay, what do we have here? Well, I guess they gave us an easy one here in the end. So hopefully you found this one. Pause the video if you need more time. If not, it looks like Just an easy queen capturing f7 backed up by the knight and delivering the mate here. So hopefully you found that one. Here we go. And there are our 20 problems for today. So feel free to leave leave comments about the video. Whether you would like to see more difficult problems, or any other comments you feel like leaving. But please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.